We will end our programming tonight with a final series of Imagining the Future, Resetting Our Financial World, moderated by the CEO of Dynamic Planet, Kristin Rechberger.
So, Rose, It's been a perfect storm of climate change, biodiversity loss, and now COVID-19. Going forward, can we integrate economic solutions by also investing in biodiversity?
Yes, we already know that COVID-19 has caused the largest global economic disruption since the Great Depression, even greater than the financial crisis of 2008. We are also facing unprecedented climate and biodiversity crisis, even though they are not immediately front and center right now. In fact, they present even more serious risk to human prosperity. In the last 50 years, since the first Earth Day, we are losing nature at an alarming rate. Some people might say, okay, that's sad, but does it matter? The answer is yes. The nature is fundamental to our survival, from clean air, clean water, food and medicine. The service provided by nature underpins all economic activity and human well-being. Today, we are only beginning to understand the true value of nature. For example, the capital value of pollinating insects alone is estimated to be $14 trillion, and at least a third of all medicine come from natural sources.
Did you say $14 trillion in value just from pollinating insects, such as for our food?
Yes. And this is still a lot. There is still a lot we don't know about the consequences of biodiversity loss. Therefore, we must enhance global biodiversity protection. It's like an insurance policy against many of the unforeseeable risks. The major reason for losing our biodiversity so fast is a lack of understanding and a lack of integration of the value of nature into economic decision-making. The benefit of nature are largely public goods and knowledge, which are externalities in the economic sense. So we cannot rely on market forces to solve the problem of biodiversity loss. Policy intervention is essential. As governments around the world design and implement stimulus plans to kickstart the economies, they cannot focus only on the short-term necessity to restart a business-as-usual economy. They need to integrate biodiversity conservation into those plans.
Rose, can you share some findings and recommendations from your upcoming report?
Yes, our report responds directly to global biodiversity loss in economic and financial terms. The report focuses on 4 key elements. First, present a strong economic case for why governments and other actors should take immediate action to invest in biodiversity. Second, estimate the funding flows, project needs, and gaps of global biodiversity conservation. Third, identify the key public and private policy, financing mechanisms, and enabling conditions required to close the financing gap. Lastly, develop specific financing targets and implementation mechanisms for consideration at the CBD conference.
Thank you. Your chair, Hank Paulson, recently wrote a great op-ed on the 7 principles for a post-coronavirus recovery. The environment was one. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. Given Hank's experience of guiding the U.S. response to the financial crisis of 2008, Hank fully understands the economic pressure faced by governments right now. He also has a strong sense of the serious environment and public health risk facing the international community. Hank always says, a thriving economy is dependent on a healthy environment. Successfully addressing the climate change and biodiversity crisis will depend on collaborations by all major countries, particularly between China and the United States, the most consequential bilateral relationship in the world. We know that collaboration can be politically difficult at times, but politicians must have the strength and leadership to make it happen, because that collaboration is firmly in our mutual interest.
Can we touch on the origination of this pandemic, the fact that the coronavirus jumped from wildlife to humans? What's the key lesson we should learn, Rose?
It's an important step that Chinese government has cracked down on wet markets. They will also revise the wildlife protection law to ban the wildlife trade in the near future. The key for them is to enforce those policies. Obviously, this pandemic is a wake-up call about the reality of the risk we face and how they are linked to our relationship with nature. As we count the cost of this pandemic, both in terms of human life and our economy, we must learn lessons. At the same time, we must realize that we have ignored the much larger risks posed by climate change and biodiversity loss. The upcoming CBD conference is an opportunity for the international community to work together and make the right policies. As the countries start to rebuild the economies after this global crisis, it reminds us how interlinked we are and how important nature is to the economy. We must remember that environment and economy are two sides of the same coin.
And environment and economy are certainly two sides of the same coin. Thank you so much, Rose.